The Thoroughbred is a magnificent animal, bred for speed, bred to compete, the sport of kings.
Wow, West Coast has it by 6.
It's the all-new Let's Go Racing from Parks Casino and Racetrack. It's action-packed and fun for the entire family.
3 of them are right together with 1 furlong to go.
Let's Go Racing is brought to you by the Pennsylvania Thoroughbred Horsemen's Association. It's fun to see them run.
A very pleasant good morning, racing fans, and welcome here to Parks Racing for Let's Go Racing. The big day has arrived. Later this afternoon, it is the Win and You're In. Grade 1 Cotillion Stakes and, of course, the Grade 1 Pennsylvania Derby $1 million purses. Dick and I will have all the latest. This past Saturday, Hall of Fame Day. We'll talk about the entrance, the new entrance into the Hall of Fame, and also some of the stakes races from that afternoon. And on the national scene, we'll have a look at the Grade 1 Woodbine Mile and a big 2-year-old down at Churchill Downs that you're not going to want to miss. We'll have that coming up in just a little bit. Hi, everybody. Keith Jones down on the beautiful first floor here at Parks Racing. Going to be packed a little bit later. My friend Dick Girardi. And Dick, as we look at the fields for the Derby and the Cotillion, we have the Preakness winner. We have the Kentucky Oaks winner. We have the 2-year-old filly champion from last year. Pretty good stuff.
No question. And you got Guarana from Chad Brown, undefeated, who's maybe the hottest 3-year-old filly in the country.
Well, Dick, War of Will is here, the Preakness winner, and of course the big incident at the top of the stretch of the Kentucky Derby.
Here's the reality of War of Will. Was he affected slightly on the turn? He was. Was it going to change the outcome? No chance. War of Will had 400 yards to go past maximum security because he recovered so fast. He couldn't do it. He came back to ride the live rail at the Preakness, won, and I thought he should have won by more against a weak group with Everfast being second, and has been awful in the 2 races since the Preakness.
Now, Dick, Mr. Money, the hot horse for Brett Calhoun, and the local horse Spun to Run, who ran so well at the Smarty Jones Stakes.
Yeah, look, Mr. Money is terrific. I mean, 4 in a row. He's won the lesser 3-year-old races, the Pat Day, the Matt Winn, the Indiana Derby, the West Virginia Derby. I love Brett Calhoun. We love him since he was here with Chamberlain Bridge. He's a really good trainer. I think he's a contender. And I think the same as Spun to Run. I loved his race in the Smarty Jones. He's good. He's getting better. He's on his home track. Boy, wouldn't it be great to see Carlos hit the board? And I think that's basically the goal here, to try to see if they can hit the board.
Dick, 11 3-year-old fillies in the Cotillion, and it's 1 mile and 1/16. So you have a little bit shorter run into that first turn. And when I got the draw yesterday, I thought the draw was significant.
Yeah, no doubt. Serengeti Empress got the rail. She was going to go anyway, because that's the way she runs. She's certainly going, and she's got the favorable post position to go, the Kentucky Oaks winner. And our 2-year-old filly champ here is going to come out of John Service's barn. Jaywalk did not get the best of the draw. She got the 11 out of 11. Normally that wouldn't bother me, but Keith, as you just pointed out, because you've called 1 million mile and 16th races here, it is a quick run to the first turn. There's 3 or 4 other fillies with speed. There's a potential Jaywalk with Joel Rosario back could get caught 4 or 5 wide. So John, they're going to have to make a decision. Are they going to send and try to get out there and be battling with Serengeti Empress, or are they going to tuck in behind? It's not an easy call, because Jaywalk has not been effective when she sat behind a bunch of horses.
And then you have the morning line favorite, Guarana, who to this point has not lost.
Now, and it's Chad Brown, who's the hottest man on earth training racehorses. He's winning in everything, and we know about his turf acumen. I thought the CCA Oaks win was not as good as the previous one. She won by a length over a Point of Honor. The Acorn was really impressive when she ran by Serengeti Empress. We got Collegeville Girl, the local filly for our man Richie Vega, and Steve Appel. I have to mention Steve's name, of course. He's a co-owner of Collegeville Girl. Another horse to keep an eye on, Street Band, Larry Jones filly. I think she's not good. Bad. She ran 3rd in the Alabama. She's probably going to get overlooked in the betting. She might have a chance at a decent number.
Well, Dick, we can't wait. All that stuff's going to play out a little bit later this afternoon. As I mentioned at the top of the show, we just had Hall of Fame Day.
Yes, sir.
Well, Dick, we had 3 horses go in this year.
We did.
And boy, were they 3 good horses.
Well, we watched them all last year roam around winning Grade 1s all over the place.
Well, here's more on those 3 with our man Bruce Casella.
Trinbrook Stable's Discreet Lover was purchased for a mere $10,000 as a 2-year-old. At age 5, the colt hit it big when at 45-1, he surprised the racing world by winning the Grade 1 $750,000 Jockey Club Gold Cup.
Here comes the finish. It is going to be a photo finish, and I think it was Discreet Lover.
Owner-trainer Uriah St. Louis and his family had a celebration of a lifetime.
Oh, I love him. He is such an awesome horse. That little dynamo.
He's a great one winner. He's a great one winner.
I'm just so proud. I'm so proud of this horse. He tried so hard all the time. He deserves it. He deserves this. My father deserves this. He works so hard. I'm so happy. Oh my goodness, I am so happy. I am so happy. I didn't know how it was going to turn out.
Imperial Hint. The little giant is still one of the top sprinters in the country with more than $2 million in career earnings. Owned by Raymond Mamone and trained by Louis Carvajal Jr., Imperial Hint won the Grade 1 Alfred G. Vanderbilt twice.
Imperial Hint destroys his competition in the Vanderbilt.
Other Grade 1 highlights include the Vosburg.
So easy for this little rocket ship.
And just missed in the Breeders' Cup Sprint twice. Imperial Hint was undefeated in 3 starts here at Parks Racing. Jaywalk, owned by DJ Stable and Cassius King, was crowned the 2018 champion 2-year-old filly, joining the great Smarty Jones as the only Parks-based horse to win Eclipse Awards in this century. The John Service trainee was highlighted by 2 Grade 1 victories, including the $2 million Breeders' Cup Juvenile Fillies.
This filly can cross wherever she wants. Jaywalk is a Breeders' Cup champ.
It's pretty special. Growing up in Northeast Philly, coming to Keystone Racetrack way back in the 70s, and then all of a sudden making the Hall of Fame with Jaywalk. Terrific filly. Actually means a whole lot to me. So it's great to share it with the Greens, team service, and I'm honored to be here today.
It was a group effort by our barn. We all worked really hard. We're honored to have owners like the Greens and Chuck, Cassius King, and we're really looking forward to Saturday. She's going to bring her A game, and it's going to be an awesome race.
Mrs. Green, congratulations on the
Thank
Hall of
you.
Fame. Let me know your thoughts.
Well, Jaywalk has been the peak of a long career here at Philadelphia Park, Keystone, and Parks. We started out with Walter Reese as our trainer and have moved up the ranks of race horse owning to where we now have Jaywalk. The Eclipse and the Breeders' Cup were just so phenomenally exciting. We couldn't be happier.
It's mean a lot. We've been here about 30-something years, and it's been working out very good. And to have a horse, you know, you paid a little bit of money for it to turn out to be so good, it's fantastic.
It's been quite a ride for you, hasn't it?
It's been.
What's this like to share this with your family?
It's been one of the greatest things since my kid's been born. You know, it's something words can't describe it.
It means a whole lot, you know, especially a barn like we have, a small barn, and my family is always behind me and the horse, so it's great for the owner, everybody, the people at the barn. It's just great, amazing feeling.
We'll take Discreet Lover, Jaywalk, Imperial Hint. That's some pretty serious stuff.
No question, it was some fall last year where we got to watch all them winning Grade 1s all over the place, culminating with Jaywalks, of course, winning the Breeders' Cup Juvenile Fillies.
Of course, you wrote about it on Let'sGoRacingParks.com.
I did. It's a distinguished class. It's our 9th class. It's hard to believe it started in 2011 now, but we're not running out of distinguished horses and people to put in the Parks Hall of Fame.
Well, Dick, just want to let the people know that the gates open at 11 o'clock is regular here today.
Yep.
First post time will be 12:25. Okay. So they want to note that.
Yep.
13 race program. The Derby post time is 5:50. Okay. Cotillion post time is about 5:12. Right. Hopefully we'll be on schedule, but that's what we got.
There you go.
11 a.m. and 12:25. You got it. We're going to head to our first break. We have more Hall of Fame stuff and big 2-year-old to look at. We'll have that. We come back after this.
Dennis's moment strikes the lead right at the top of the stretch.
Looking to join the thrill and excitement of thoroughbred racehorse ownership? Pewter Stable can get you started. With more than 25 years of experience under the leadership of Greg and Kate DeMasi, Pewter Stable is one of the industry's leaders in racing partnerships, winning hundreds of races and millions of dollars at racetracks all over the Mid-Atlantic, including New York. No markup, no management fees, makes our partnerships unique and affordable. We are Pewter Stable.
And be making money those 4 in a line in the first turn, 4 of them sorting out across the track. Still in 4-10, no one's really taking the initiative. Those 4 really flying out there. Sonic Challenge Racing in the 8th spot, Raleigh Spine for leaders up ahead. Monsoon Malabar is next. Small, the followed up by Brian Dixie.
Welcome back, everyone, to Parks Racing for Let's Go Racing. We talked about more Hall of Fame stuff coming up, and Dick, we had just one trainer go in this year, and I had a chance to see our man Freddy Velasquez a couple times during the afternoon.
Yep.
And you just could not get the smile off his face.
No, it's great for Freddie. Of course, his son Danny, who trains here.
Yeah.
Just, I mean, these guys been around here for 3 decades.
Right.
And who deserves it more than Freddie, who's had some really good horses around here. And everybody was thrilled to see him at all.
Well, his son Danny has become probably the best claiming trainer around here.
Yep.
And the one thing Freddie told me, better not claim off me. You know, how about that, son? Claim it off. Well, here's more on Freddy Velasquez with our friend Bruce Casella.
Trainer Freddy Velasquez was born in Puerto Rico and at an early age became involved in thoroughbred racing, cleaning stalls. He moved to New York to become an assistant trainer and eventually began training his own horses at Philadelphia Park in 1984. Freddy has won more than 1,100 races, including the Pennsylvania-bred Traffic Light, who won 3 stakes races for owner John Trippy.
Traffic Light strong as they come down to the last 16th. On the outside, it's keeping in stitches. Far outside, you got that going for you, but it's all Traffic Light as they come to the finish.
Freddy also proved he could train Grade 1 stock when Sprinter Private Zone entered his barn.
Dad's Caps, Private Zone, they're right together as they come down for the wire in the Vosburg, and Private Zone has won it again.
Freddy has 15 stakes wins, including 2 Grade 1s in his Parks Racing Hall of Fame career.
Well, it's something that you work all your life to get here. I'm happy they did it.
How about sharing this with your family?
Oh, that's incredible. You don't know how you say it when you got something like that happen.
And of course, our congratulations to Freddie and beautiful wife Anita, who he trains for.
Absolutely.
They just have a great time here. So let's get to our racing segment now. It's brought to you by Chapman Auto Group. Unless our emblem is on the back of your car or truck, you probably paid too much. A couple of starter handicap stakes that were around Hall of Fame Day. Let's take a look at the one for the males, 1 mile and 1/16. It's a $60,000 purse. Number 4, Salsa's Return, the 7-to-5 favorite for trainer Jorge Navarro. And Dick, how do you bet against a trainer that's winning at almost 50%?
Yeah, you really don't. You're not going to do well, as it turns out. This horse is owned by our buddy Joe Bessiker. 59 starts, 15, 10, 9, 437. And, I mean, it's unreal. It's Jorge Navarro.
Second choice, number 10, Deal Driven, is 4-to-1 for trainer Bobby Moscow. And Dick, this horse has been hot.
Has been hot, and so has Bobby. All year long, he's having a great year. This horse has won 3 out of 4.
Jorge Navarro can't lose, right?
He doesn't lose often.
Well, let's watch the race. Here's the call. And in charge will be Dirt in Your Face. The lead just over a length with 5.5 furlongs to go. Deal Driven is second by another 2. Salsa's Return down inside third ahead. Moongate Warrior is fourth. They're followed next by Oak Cram, who's sitting just better than 4 lengths behind. DT Goody begins to make some ground to the far outside. Not much yet at the back from either Adventist or late running His Royal Majesty, 48-1 for the half. He had 22-1 on Dirt in Your Face, who won a leisurely half mile and heads to the far turn in front 3/4 of a length. Looks like tempo begins to quicken now. Deal Driven has been tracking throughout. About 3 more back to Oak Cram. Salsa's Return is yet to go on. Now being ridden along at the inside fourth. After that comes Moongate Warrior and DT Goody. So Dirt in Your Face in front at the top of the stretch, but Deal Driven begins to make a move now. The field turns for home. Here comes Deal Driven on the outside to engage Dirt in Your Face. On the inside, Salsa's Return begins to close in, but Deal Driven has taken the lead with 1 furlong to go. Dirt in Your Face back to second. Salsa's Return third. Deal Driven had a perfect trip. Well, Dick, Salsa's Return does not get to the winner's circle. As you mentioned, Jorge Navarro is 1 for 3 on the day, and his percentage goes down.
Wins a race, and it goes down.
But our man Bobby Moscow with Deal Driven at 4-to-1 wins by 2, pays $10.20 to win. And this horse has now won 4 out of his last 5 starts.
Yeah, and what I like about him, Keith, is the consistency. Obviously, there was that one bad race where he got into a bit of a duel, but other than that, I mean, and the numbers are there. The last 4 winning buyers, 87, 81, 88, 87. As a gambler, you just love horses like that.
Our man Bobby Moscow having a career year in 2019. Let's get to some national stuff. We mentioned the 2-year-old that you want to take a look at. We're going to go to Churchill Downs for the Grade 3 Iroquois, 1 mile at 1/16, a $200,000 purse. Dick, the horse's number 8, Dennis's Moment, gets bet down to 2-to-5 for trainer Dale Romans. He is a son of Tiz Now. Dick, the first time out, The jockey fell off. And the next time out, he wins by double digits.
Yeah, I mean, how would you feel if you got information on this horse at 5-2 in his first out, and Robbie Alvarado, they end up clipping heels and fall, and it's a maiden race that he clearly would have won because he came back to break his maiden at Ellis by 19 1/4 lengths and get a 97 buyer, which will win every maiden 2-year-old race in the country.
At 19 1/4, not a misprint. Dick Dennis's moment, 2-5. Here's the call.
So it is Juggernaut moving down the backstretch with 5 furlongs to go. Still keyed up and on the lead. Leads by a length and a half. Lebda's tracking the pace, running along in second. Zermid is covered up inside, racing third. Dennis's moment, untroubled at this point, fourth and on the outside. Rowdy Yates getting closer. Scabbard in very tight toward the inside. Scabbard racing up on the heels of Zermid. Had to steady briefly there as they round the far turn. Farther back, it's Flute Maker. The rest have to get going with 3 furlongs to go. Lebda coming after Juggernaut, and looming to the outside is Dennis's moment with a 3-wide bid round the far turn. Up to challenge for the top spot now. Farther back, it's Rowdy Yates racing in fourth. Flute Maker's underway. Scabbard was shuffled back in Zermid. They're off the turn. Dennis's moment strikes the lead right at the top of the stretch and builds a 2-length lead. Now a 3-length lead for the final furlong. Lebda's battling on, but is back into second. Scabbard trying to come on late. Rowdy Yates is fourth. There's 1 furlong to go. Dennis's moment with a 5-length lead. Scabbard with clear sailing up into second, but Dennis's moment kicks off the road to the Kentucky Derby in a big way.
Well, Dick Dennis's moment at this point looks like a major Kentucky Derby contender. Another terrific performance, totally geared down at the end. Wins by, well, length of 3/4, but that really doesn't matter. $2.80 the win price. Dale Romans, however, has not had a good record in the Kentucky Derby.
He hasn't, but he really has never bought really super-duper live horses to the race. He's 0-10, but he's won 730 races at Churchill, which is more than any trainer. I think the best 2-year-old he's ever had was back a couple of years ago. Remember Not This Time, who ran second to Classic Empire in the Breeders' Cup Juvenile, and said, boy, this horse has got a real chance. Well, he got hurt. He never ran again. I think this is Dennis's moment is there. This was a 90 buyer in this race, and I think Dale is really live. They'll go on to the Breeders' Cup Juvenile as one of the favorites at Santa Anita. You can tell he's really excited. And look, Dale's been around the game. He's won a lot of big races, but he's a guy that lives down there. He trains down there. His dad trained down there. He wants to win the Derby in the worst way.
Dick, let's go north of the border. Take a look at the Grade 1 Woodbine Mile. A 1-turn mile on that turf course for $1 million. Number 5, Got Stormy is 8-5 here for trainer Mark Cassie with Tyler Gaffalione. The filly trying to beat the boys again, and Dick, she did it in a big way up at Saratoga.
Yeah, she was really good in the 4-star, Dave. I mean, she beat a really good field decisively. There wasn't any question. And boy, you look back and say, man, 5-1. What a price that was on a really neat filly for Mark Cassie, who's obviously had great success with some terrific fillies, including Tevin.
Second choice, number 7, Raging Bull is 7-2 for some guy named Chad Brown.
Chad Brown.
Now, Dick, he was also in the 4-star day, but could not handle Got Stormy that day.
Now, he was second. Now, he gets way behind, like a lot of Chad's horses do, but man, it is hard to come from behind from deep at a mile. It's one thing if it's a mile and a half, but these mile races are hard to come from last.
$1 million. Here's the call.
Racing with the lead, there are 3 of them. Silent Poet on the inside, Admiralty Pier pressing, and Awesome Tag in the center. Right behind, only a length away, is Got Stormy. Then El Tormenta, American Guru. Synchrony on the inside, trying to get off the rail, and is doing that a little bit. And on the outside is Made You Look, and Luke Cullen's between them, starting to get closer, 4 lengths off the lead. They're bunched up. Emmaus on the inside, and Raging Bull set a task here, is still 4 lengths away last. Racing out in front, 3/8 to run. Admiralty Pier on the outside. Silent Poet, Awesome Tank splits them, and Got Stormy lounging up on the outside, 4 wide. Then El Tormenta as they come for the home stretch in the Rico Woodbine Mile. Luke Cullen is in the clear down the outside. Emmaus up the rails. They're all across the track, and El Tormenta coming through. Got Stormy's in front to second, El Tormenta. Luke Cullen is there. Raging Bull starting to build a run late. In the lead is Got Stormy, the filly, but El Tormenta up the inside, stride to stride. And then came Luke Cullen and Raging Bull. El Tormenta on the inside in front. And El Tormenta has won the Rico Woodbine Mile.
We'll take a lot of times in turf racing, because we've talked about it's about the trip. Well, number 1, El Tormenta at 44-1 got a great trip. It looked like God Stormy had every chance to win. But here comes El Tormenta up the inside at 44-1. It pays 91.40 to win.
Yeah, there were a couple of things going on there. At first, God Stormy, I thought it was a very overconfident ride by Tyler Gaffalione. It's like, all right, I'll just let her run the last 50 yards. Well, what happens when you keep all the horses in the race like that? One of them might have the momentum on you, and you might get beaten. That's what happened. I thought the rider got the horse beat. But El Tormenta could not have had this horse under any imaginable circumstances, but a very popular win in Canada. Sam Sun Farm, we know about them. Right. And Eurico De Silva, the rider who's won over 2,000 races, is going to retire at the end of the year. So this is some retirement present for one of the great Canadian riders ever.
44-1.
Could not have had that horse.
Dick, let's get to our next break. We come back here on Let's Go Racing. We're going to give out our weekly awards, and don't look now, but there's a jockey that's getting hot.
I've noticed.
We'll talk about that after this.
What does Chapman's 7 locations and 10 car brands mean to you? It means a huge selection of quality pre-owned vehicles, all makes and models, many one-owner, low-mileage certified with miles of factory warranty remaining. Safety checked, meticulously detailed, and each come with a free Carfax report so you can buy with complete confidence at any Chapman Auto store near you. Or shop online anytime at ChapmanPreowned.com.
If our emblem is not on your car or truck, you probably did pay too much.
The Pennsylvania Thoroughbred Horsemen's Association is the advocate for Parks Racing's horsemen and has worked hard to secure better lives for the hundreds of trainers and their families that work in the thoroughbred racing industry. Our horsemen benefit from medical coverage, trainer pension plans, and increased purses. Thanks to these horsemen, racing at Parks is the very best, providing entertainment for you and the entire family. The Pennsylvania Horsemen are proud to be part of the community and introduce a new generation of fans to the sport of kings.
Welcome back, everyone, to Parks Racing for Let's Go Racing. Those weekly awards brought to you by the Turning for Home program. Log on to their website today at turningforhome.org. And Dick, 3 wins on Sunday, 2 wins yesterday. How about Frankie Pennington? Look out. Is he going to do it again?
5-time Frankie looking for 6. He's going to try to run down Michael Sanchez here. Michael's been in front for a long way, but Frankie's rolling in the stretch.
Getting to the 16th pole, and here comes Frankie. Dick, our trainer of the week, has kind of had a slow year, but our man Lupe had the double on Sunday, so we got to tip our caps to our man Lupe Preciado. Here's our trainer of the week. Well, Dick, on Saturday, Hall of Fame Day, 2 special achievement people to go in. Doc Penny, our friend Dr. James Penny, and Nick Saponara, who's done just about everything in the game.
Yeah, anybody who's ever been around this racetrack or racing in the area knew Doc Penny, who was a vet since the mid-40s, and of course was here for quite a long time and now has a race named after him, the Doc Penny Memorial run here every summer. And Nick Saponara has been in the game more than a half a century, worked for the Bulletin as a handicapper, was at Liberty Bell when harness racing started back in the early 60s. Now, of course, he has the great Club Risque stable with our buddy Randy Allen and the very memorable silks with the champagne glass on the back.
Here's more with Bruce Casella.
Doc Penny was a longtime Philadelphia Park veterinarian, a career that began in 1944 at Garden State Park. You see, Dr. James Penny loved his job and the horses around him. But horses weren't the only animals he took care of. Besides working at just about all the area racetracks, he also had a practice at the Pennsylvania SPCA until 1979. No doubt the doc loved every animal, not just horses. Each year we honor him with a race, the Grade 3 Dr. James Penny Memorial.
Not a Prada Price has the lead, 55 on the outside. Not a Prada Price coming to the line. Not a Prada Price has done it. Your Doc Penny winner, number 3, Not a Prada Price.
Nick Saponara brings an extensive resume to the sport of horse racing. From a writer, handicapper, oddsmaker, to horse owner, Nick Saponara has made his mark on the horsemen at Parks Racing. His first job out of school was with the Philadelphia Bulletin, and soon was the paper's handicapper for nearly 20 years. He has been widely recognized in the harness world, working at Brandywine, Liberty Bell Park, and Atlantic City Harness as the morning line oddsmaker. He was inducted by his peers in the Harness Racing Communicators Hall of Fame. He claimed his first thoroughbred in 2006 and races under the name Club Risque Stable. Nick is a 2-term PTHA board member.
I've been racing for 63 years. I started at Liberty Bell in 63, so it's 56 years I've been racing. Started with the Bulletin and did it all.
It's obvious you love the sport.
Oh, I think it's the greatest thing going. I did the thoroughbreds, I did the standard breds, and it's just the best time of my life.
Very special day for you?
Unbelievable.
It's a great honor for him. It's a great honor for us, too. The family is all here for this induction. He really, really liked the life at the racetrack. He was from flat to the beginning of flat racing in Pennsylvania. He was at ground zero right at the beginning, and was at this track literally to about 4 months before he died, working. He loved the people. He loved the slices of life that you would get at the track.
Dick, I used to actually clip Nick Saponaro's gradings, they used to call them, in the paper every day, and check out the results the next day. I had a lot of fun doing that.
Nick did that before I got here. I mean, that's how long ago it was. But I've certainly heard how much he loved the game, and it's very clear listening to the interview how much he loves the game still.
Well, Dick, race recap. Let's squeeze in a couple here. The other starter race on Saturday was for the fillies and mares. They'll go 1 mile and 70 yards, Dick. And Jorge Navarro had the 2 favorites, but number 3, Cuddle Kitten, the 7-5 second choice, was long gone.
Yeah, she was long gone. I mean, she just got loose in the lead, and there was no catching her. And the other favorite, Patra Liza, was third for, again, our man Joe Besker. By the way, I failed to mention, he ran third in that race, the Iroquois, with Lebda. Joe's got a good 2-year-old himself.
$4.80 to win on Cuddle Kitten. And Dick, up to Woodbine. The other grade one was the Northern Dancer, 1.5 miles on the turf, and number 1, Old Persian, a Group 1 winner coming in from Europe for Charles Appleby, is going to be much the best.
Yeah, Group 1 and $4 million, and 3 to 5 for a reason. And this one was never in doubt for a single second, as Old Persian romps home and closes on $5 million.
That's $5 million, not bad. Old Persian with another Group 1 win. Dick, Ion Racing, it's all about the FA today. Not only do we have the big stakes, of course, we did mention the Grade 2 Gallant Bob. First time that's going to be a Grade 2. We have the Parks Dirt Mile, the fillies on the grass in the Alphabet Soup, the Plum Pretty.
And a lot of good maiden races. There's going to be some really live horses in there. I know Chuck Zackney's got how many people upstairs? Like 150, I think.
2 or 3.
And so he's live all day long with some of his 2-year-olds, and of course, he's the co-owner of Jaywalk in the Cotillion.
Wrap it up with news and notes after this.
Racehorses are pampered,
treated with care, and loved.
Nothing is more important than their health and their safety.
We do right by them,
and they do right by us.
the hard-working folks
who proudly earn our living
in Pennsylvania's horse racing
and breeding industries.
Horse racing is a lot of fun.
But it's so much more.
It provides tens of thousands of jobs.
Jobs, and billions in economic impact each year.
All across the Commonwealth.
Horse racing in Pennsylvania. It's a winner.
Welcome back, everyone, to Parks Racing for Let's Go Racing, the big day. Come out and join us here at 12:25 is the post time. Big gates open at 11 o'clock, so just about a half an hour from now. So come out and enjoy the big day right here with us. And Dick, the program on NBC. First time it's going to be nationally broadcast from 5 to 6. Dick, how about the man? Remember the man?
Absolutely.
He's gone.
Yeah, he's retired after a great run here for John Service. He was the Horse of the Year here a couple of years ago, and owned, of course, by Bob and Jill Baffert. They sent the PA bred east, and boy, did he do good when he was here.
He was pretty good. And Dick, my first Pennsylvania Derby, 1987, with
a fleet and Lost
Good. Got it.
Wow.
And it's another one later today. Come out and enjoy the day right here with us. See you next week on Let's Go Racing.